Are you wondering whether or not you can actually change your career field? Say if you're in your 30s or 40s, you're just not liking what you're doing, but you want to know if you can actually do it without taking a massive risk or even a massive pay cut? Well, today we're going to talk about two key tips that I've used in the past, along with a bonus tip at the end of what you can actually do to really go after that career that you want and make a switch, whether it's halfway through or at some other point in your career, and really do it in a way that makes sense. And hopefully, you're not really looking at resetting yourself completely. My name's Milan, and in the 30 years I spent working my way to senior level in a Fortune 100 company, if you look at my career, I've done a number of different things that there really doesn't even appear to be a single path. Well, that's because you learn to leverage skills and things that you have done in order to actually apply it in something that's really exciting to you. So the first tip is really to take a step back and think about what is it that you really might want to do for your next 30 or 40 years potentially. I mean, if you are in your 30s and 40s, you've invested a lot of time in your career and your skill set and things you've done up to this point. So you really want to take a few steps back and just start thinking about what kind of work excites you? What kinds of things could you really see yourself doing as you've moved forward? Think about your last 10 years and think about the different projects and things that really did give you some energy and that jazzed you, even if it was for a very short period of your job that you were in. Those are the types of experiences where your gut will start telling you, these are things that really excite me and things that I might want to go do over a longer period of time. So again, that first tip is really to take a thought about this last 5 or 10 years on the projects and the type of work that really did excite you, and then go focus in on what that was, even write them down. And that way you can go through them and start thinking about them critically. The second tip is to really, once you've identified that kind of work or that type of role that's interesting to you, figure out a way to do some of that in your job today. And I always tell people in the business world, there's a lot of opportunity to branch out and do things. If it is a certain type of work that you want to go do, try to do it again. Talk to your manager. Go look at the kind of work in your organization. Even if it's not for your team, if it will grow some skills in another part of the org, you can help them out with projects. You know, some people will say, take on the extra work, but what I found, and even as a manager, if somebody has a good plan, I will look for work that I have in that part of the business, in the larger part of my team, because there's always an area and there's a lot of variety of things you can go do. But a lot of people just don't ask. Even if they know the kind of work that they want, they do not go talk to their manager and say, hey, can I do some project work like this? Because remember, in your own head, you're trying to build out your resume. You're trying to go figure out what are the things that I could go move into that leverages the skills and experience that I have today, but won't necessarily reset me. I mean, let's be honest. We all by the 30s and 40s have financial commitments, and very few of us are fortunate enough to just be able to throw away all of that and move into an entirely different industry with no risk to our financial status. And what I can tell you with working with a number of people is you can transition through by going through those two steps. Now, the bonus tip is really around getting very specific with the kind of job that you would like to go do. For example, you can go search all kinds of job sites. And when you've honed in that first tip about what kind of work you like to go do, go pick a job. Go pick a job that's a lateral or even the next level up. And go look at that and then compare it against your resume. Once you do that, you can start figuring out, like if that job came open and I were to go apply for it, what are the areas that I'm strong, that I know I meet with that? Because I'm sure you do in some areas. But then what are the areas where, like for tip 2, that you go and try to get some experience in your own job that you can put on your resume to say you've done that kind of work. And I can tell you that it's been very effective for some people that I've worked with to go make those kinds of laterals. It's very similar to people transitioning out of the military in their 30s or 40s. They think they don't really have skills sometimes that relate directly to the industry or the civilian industry. But when you go look at the kinds of skills that they do, and then they go look at the kind of work, you can go build those bridges. And you can definitely do it in your 30s and 40s if you want to go switch. So if this has been helpful, I'd appreciate a like. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, you'll get notified of other topics as they come out. But I'll tell you that this has been a very effective way, and I hope it helps you. Have a great day.